thank you for joining us in the BW Businessworld Emerging Awards, Emerging Companies Awards and Summit. Emerging companies are the companies that will be, I would say, they're somewhere in between being a startup and being an enterprise of the future. So really, today's conversation is about how can they leverage themselves rightly in this environment where everyone is predicting a uber growth for India over the next 5 to 10 years. What are the regulatory issues they need to deal with? How can they navigate them? How can they look after compliance? Because compliance is taking up their time, money, and effort in their mind space. And most importantly, the two issues that really that you can throw light on are raising capital. It's raining IPOs, both from the primary and secondary markets. Money is abundantly available. And second is the fact becoming a technology play. If you're a company, you need to be a technology company, whatever business you're in. So we couldn't have had anybody better than you, Mr. Ravi, with your background experience in advising entrepreneurs, companies, and even being part of the policy making in the country. So I would like you to start with a quick remarks to give a background of why you believe the next few years are the best years for emerging companies to grow and leverage from the business environment that exists in India.
So first of all, thank you, Dr. Batra, for inviting me. The first and foremost factor that is there is the transformation that has from traditional business to the non-traditional business or to the new age business. So this transformation has been happening over the last 10 years, but it has accelerated in the last 5 to 7 years. And you have seen a lot of growth of fintech companies, neobanks. You've seen a lot of service providers. You see Credex type of company. You see companies which have, you have, of course, the successes behind like Paytm, but you have the new companies which are very robust and are coming up in all fields. Let it be financial services, let it be manufacturing, and let it be robotics, let it be artificial intelligence. So what worries everybody is in the space of the emerging companies and startup is the cost of compliance for them and the amount of compliance that they have to do. And the cost of compliance can come down drastically if artificial intelligence and uniform platforms are created for them. So that is my key. You wed both technology with the small emerging companies, whether it be in any space, manufacturing, aerospace, you can take anything. So it has to wed there. And the cost of compliance should be automated. And that is what I think is going to be the next level that we are going to see. The growth is going to be there because of this. And technology has played a very predominant part in the whole growth. And the manufacturing companies with core strength, that has to wed with the technology companies.
Thank you.
That's the first take.
Thank you, Mr. Ravi. Let me ask you, in your view of working with large enterprises, you're being a past chairman of the Bombay Stock Exchange, and really the SME board was brought into play during that time. So you understand the power of SMEs, especially they contribute to 35% of the GDP, they create jobs, and they really look after the bottom of the pyramid. Now, tell me, what do you think are the mistakes that most of the emerging companies or SME companies founders make, and how to avoid them?
So first of all, they are too obsessed with their ideas. So the first and foremost mistake is their idea may be very good, but they have to be flexible and very, very fertile in their imagination to change the business model that is required. Because see, any idea to convert it requires capital, requires growth, you require marketing, and above all, you need to have a story to tell people. So how do you tell a story? So it's a package that makes a company successful. And if a person has a good idea, they fail because they are too obsessed with their idea and are not fertile to change it with the market conditions. That is the first and foremost reason for failure. The second is the capital. They don't plan their next few steps. So being a part of the BSE incubator, what we realized as a company should have good advisors who can handhold them throughout the process. First the idea, start the work, put seed capital, then how do you go to the next level? How do you raise the capital to the next level? And then how do you market it? Because it's not about only capital, because the cash burn is very high. How do you take it to the people, sell your product, and then how do you optimize everything? So it's a composite package. So the second reason that everybody fails is the capital. And the third reason that they fail is they have not read the market conditions. So the catch-up is very fast in a startup. You float an idea, in 2 years, somebody else is coming out with an idea, maybe a more improved version of the idea. So it is like iPhone 1, 2, 3, you are in 13 now. So every version gets better. So even that's why the fertility of the person, the quick response that they take to the product, to the market is very important. And packaging, all this is very important. And the story too, and people should believe the story.
Thank you so much. Mr. Ravi, again, entrepreneurs are dreamers. So sometimes they will be carried away with their idea. The right sounding boards are mentors. In India, while we put a lot of value to capital, access, we do not put that much value to advice, to mentorship. Do you think that has changed in the last few years? Do you believe it needs to change? Because if you are specialist mentors and you have wise people who may not understand technology, but they understand the environment, they understand capital, they understand regulatory frameworks, they understand how the government thinks, especially if you're in a new area like cryptocurrency or blockchain or gaming or NFT, there is a policy risk also involved. So do you think mentorship for emerging company entrepreneurs can be a panacea for all their ills?
So you have raised a very good point. Mentorship is a very, very valuable thing. And advice in the right form with a positive set of people is always good. And advisors and mentors can be people who can polish the ideas, so to say. Because ideas, as you say, they are dreamers. So the dream has to be put in a box of success, has to be put in a small box. And that box is very important. Now, the other point is a mentor can be a risk manager also. The mentor can be an entrepreneur also. Mentor can be a person who can help them reach out for policy. So a mentor would have had an experience of his lifetime, would have made some great success somewhere. And then you take the help of the mentor and you go according to the mentor's chart, use your own idea, take all the, at the end of it, the buck stops with the entrepreneur. Mentor is a person who can put the boundaries for a person. And that boundary is, if you adhere, we are going to be successful. So mentorship has taken a new role. Let me tell you, at least I know 11, 12 people, 13 people in the IT space, in the fintech space, in the banking sector who have become mentors. And they have seeded many companies. And I can tell you one such person, I won't name. He said, I'm ready to not take any fees, but I'm ready to put whatever fees into my equity. So they both got wedded in that sense. They both took the challenge together, and some great companies have made out of this model.